We're ready for our next set of interviews for the 2021 Big Sky Basketball Virtual Tip-Off on ESPN Plus. I'm joined by Northern Arizona head coaches Shane Burkhart and Lori Payne, and student athletes Nick Maines and Lauren Orndoff. So we're going to jump right into our first set of questions here. First question is for Coach Lori, heading into your fifth year at the helm of the Lumberjack program. While there are a number of new coaches in the league, do you feel that you're at an advantage due to the experience that you have?
I think so. It's we're headed into our fifth year overseeing our program, and I feel like we've just continued to get better and better every year. And we finally have the right kids in that really fit our system. It'll be interesting though this year with so many new coaches and so many new systems. We're very excited that I feel like we have a solid foundation returning for this year.
When you say you have the right people in your program, what makes someone right to be part of this program?
Well, I think we've pretty much established, we're a very up tempo transition offensive team. And so we have to have, student athletes that can come in and compete at 7,000 feet while also getting up and down the floor. So I think it's something that, we've really created kind of a systematic approach to recruiting. And we have players who, are bought into the system, and we're very excited to see where that takes us this year.
Coach Burkhart, you're heading into your first traditional 20-game conference season. After the COVID year, you were interim head coach. How do you think those experiences with the pandemic last year and the way that the season was structured, as well as your experiences as interim head coach, have prepared you for this year?
Yeah, well, Mary Louise, I sure do appreciate you saying my first year as far as the 20-game schedule is concerned, because when you're the interim head coach, a lot of times you don't know if the coach wants a job. I absolutely wanted the job. And then we hit the pandemic right after our Big Sky tournament game. And then I consider this really our first season, just because of the first 2 years, good experience, second year, the pandemic, and just having this interview today with the media day, it seems like we have a little bit of normalcy back here in the Big Sky Conference. So we're looking forward to the upcoming season. And as far as our experience is concerned, I think that we had two ways to end the season. Our first year interim 1920, almost like a necessary evil. We lost to in the first round. On paper, as an upset. I don't know how much of an upset it was. Then last year, we're the 10 seed, and it's not a balanced schedule, home and away, as you're talking about with the 20 games this year. And we won our first game in the Big Sky Conference tournament since 2015. I thought it left us in the offseason with a lot of hope as we move to the 21-22 season.
Now, Lauren, I want to bring it over to you. You have one final season coming up here. How much extra fuel do you have knowing that this is your last season in the Big Sky?
Yeah, I'm super excited. This being my last year, I just kind of go into it like knowing that I need to embrace the opportunity and that this is my last chance to win the Big Sky Championship. And so I just come in and compete every single day and just give it my all.
Nick, Coach Burkhart talked about hope after that the tournament win that you guys had in the first round. How have you felt that in the offseason preparing for this new season?
I think we've really pulled it together. We know what we have to do when we go into the tournament, and we have the right group of guys for this year. And I think I'm really excited to be playing with them.
All right, you say the right group of guys. What's special about this group?
I think we just fill in every position. We have guys that just want to win. We have guys rebounding, playing defense, the guys that can score, and everyone just knows their roles, and everyone's fitting well together.
Talk about knowing roles. What is yours in the program?
I got to rebound, play defense. I got to pretty much do it all, know every position, and be able to guard whatever position that's necessary, and then also be able to score and do everything else.
Coach Lori, what are your expectations for your program heading into this season?
We have high expectations. I feel like we've finally become a contender, the last few years. And I feel like we have a lot of experience back with the majority of our production returning, plus a few new faces that we didn't have last year, with Lauren being back, obviously, and Nina Radford should be back as well, coming off an injury last year. So we feel like we have a really strong foundation. We feel like we have the experience and the drive to be able to really contend this year for the Big Sky Championship.
How key is it having those returners helping those new players acclimate to the program?
It's huge. I think anytime you have a solid group of veterans back, it helps kind of transition the new players. We have 4 new players this year. But I feel like it gives them an opportunity to lead by example and really kind of show the way of how we do things in our program and what the expectations are, and what our core values are for our program. So I'm very excited about our team's leadership right now and just the experience on the floor and off the floor that we're bringing.
Coach Burkar, you are opening up the season with a pair of road games against Pac-12 opponents. How's that going to allow you to assess where your team is at?
Well, I think a couple of things. When you open up on a road in a matter of 72 hours against 2 Pac-12 schools who play completely different, and with Coach Tommy Lloyd coaching his first game at Arizona, somebody who's spent 23 or 24 years in the state of Arizona professionally, I'm excited for that game. And I think it helps us, our staff, as far as scouting, knowing how to play. When you really don't know much about the opponent, we'll get a couple game films from their exhibition game and their scrimmage. But then you move on and you fly to Seattle the next morning and you play a team who's dominantly a 2-3 team. So I think those are 2 games that you get off to early with, and you get to see kind of where you are. And the other thing I think it's important for us to do is, no matter what happens, if we go 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2, I don't think you press the panic button. Those are great games to start with. We recruit our student athletes to play in those type of environments. I don't know if there's a better environment for Northern Arizona to open up in Tucson in front of 14,000 fans plus, and then go over there and play a team who's going to be hungry with Coach Hopkins. Didn't have the year that he wanted last year. And, I know they'll give us the best shot, and they'll be very focused as we play them.
Look forward to seeing it. Now, Lauren, we talked about this being your last season. What personal goals do you have heading into it?
Well, obviously, Big Sky Championship. I think that's everyone's goal, especially for those of us who it's our last year to kind of attain that goal. And I just want to really enjoy it. I love the coaching staff. I love my teammates, and I have loved being a part of this program for the last going on 5 years. And so I just really want to take it all in.
You faced a lot of adversity in your playing career, a lot of challenges. Would you say that those have allowed you to just appreciate the game more?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's given me a lot of perspective just on what's important, and just kind of how I'm showing up for not only myself, but my teammates and the people around me. And so, yeah, it was one of the hardest things I've been through, but I'm so grateful for it.
Now, Nick, we're talking about that Arizona game. Your brother plays at Arizona. What is that going to be like for you personally? What's that going to be like for your parents? Who are they going to be rooting for?
Yeah, I have a lot of family coming in for that game, so it'll be a fun experience. And I mean, I've played against them for 3 years now, so it's always fun. Always good to see them and experience that. It's always a great environment to play down there, and I'm excited.
Now, Coach Lori, this is a one bid league. How much does that play a role in your mentality throughout the season?
It's huge. I think for us, our non-conference schedule is pretty difficult. Opening up with 2 Pac-12 teams as well, 3 total on our schedule in non-conference. And I think for me and our program, we just really want to put our players in a position where they're challenged a lot in non-conference to get us ready for the Big Sky Conference. It's a tough conference. Obviously travel's tough. There are many solid teams in our conference, and so for us, we got to get prepared during our non-conference, and then go in and take it one game at a time and just continue to build towards Boise.
Well, you mentioned non-conference. You're going to be playing against your alma mater. What is that like returning there?
It's awesome. Washington is home for me, and it's something that we went up there a couple years ago, and the fans are just amazing. And I think once you're a Husky for life. And so I think there might be some torn people in there trying to cheer for the Husky alum, but also cheer for their team. And it's just a great environment. And what Coach Burkar said about bringing our kids into those Pac-12 environments, it's special. It's awesome for them to be able to play in front of that many people on, at that level, at that elite level. So I'm excited to go back up there and, open up there in the Pacific Northwest.
That'll be a lot of fun, I'm sure. Now, Coach Burkhart, you have a number of new additions this year. What has the blend of returners and new players looked like in the offseason?
We have, and I think, with the transfer portal being so significant now in 2020, 21, 21, 22, it's almost like that's a question you almost have to be a little bit careful with, right? Because we have a lot of guys who've laid a foundation. And I told Coach Payne this a couple of years ago. It was her third year, and it was my interim season. And we used to do a radio show together. And it was like I drew inspiration from her program because I'm a basketball junkie. I follow all the sports and every league. And it was her third season, and she had turned it around and had a build from her perspective. I know they were a 4 or 5 seed that year, and they won a game in the tournament. So and you build it with the guys, women that you believe in. And every year that I've been here, I believed in our guys. The guys who have moved on, really happy for them. For whatever reason, they moved on, and it's not good or bad. It's just the game right now. It truly is a game. And so on paper, we have 3 guys coming back who started last year. Majority of games, we have Carson Tell, Keith Heyman, and Nick Maines. And then, then you add on paper some guys who, through the transfer portal, you add Jalen Cohn, who most people are talking about from the ACC and Virginia Tech. He's doing really well for us. And then somebody that we recruited out of Cochise College, Justice Rainwater. He's having a good preseason. And we have a local guy with Mason Stark, local meaning an Arizona guy. And also someone from Santa Clara, Zeke Richards, who, to answer your question, we've all blended in really well. Nick kind of talked about it a little bit. Then let's not forget about the guys who've been here for a while, with the Isaiah Lewis's, the Jay Greens, the Carter Mahaney's, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple of guys, but I think you build your program with those foundation guys. Nick being one of them. So happy Nick's here for a senior season. And those are the guys you win with. And you got to add those pieces and rebuild your roster, not rebuild your program, just rebuild your roster from year to year. So I think the mix has been tremendous. And as I spoke about, our offseason has been great. And looking forward to coaching these guys for the 21-22 season.
Fantastic. Now, Lauren, sticking with that theme of blending old with new, in what ways have you built team chemistry with your team over the summer?
Yeah, well, for me, it's been a little bit more difficult just because last year I wasn't playing. And so the chemistry that some of the girls already had, I had to figure out kind of how to implement myself back into it. But yeah, summertime, we just had a lot of competition days where we were just playing. And I feel like that's honestly the best way that we create chemistry is just through playing. And we did a lot of off-court stuff where we were just kind of bonding and getting closer. And so I feel really good about where our team's at and how far we've come over the summer and this preseason.
Do you have a favorite off-court memory from the summer?
I'm not really sure. If we would we do some like Taco Tuesdays together, and that's always fun. Good food, good people, that's always a good time.
What's your taco order? What do you got on your taco?
My taco order, I usually will just get it's kind of I like to get like all different kinds, so I don't know if I have a particular order. So
Fair enough.
yeah.
What about for you, Nick? In what ways did you and your team build team chemistry over the summer?
I mean, just practicing every single day together over the summer for the past 2 months. And then always like doing just team things. We would go out to eat together or go to the movies. Or also, I think our conditioning at 6 a.m. really brought us together. I mean, everyone was cheering for each other and making sure that we were making our times and everything. So it's been a good however many months it's been. So
love to hear it. Now, Coach Lori, you've got a homestand consisting of 6 home games from December 2nd to December 17th. You open up conference play during that time. What's the advantage of that for your program?
I think it's huge for us that we've struggled in the past getting home games, especially non-conference. And fortunately this year, with having our December conference games at home, it puts us in a great position to have a few more non-conference games and really be able to rest a little bit and have a chance to not have to travel every weekend for so many games in non-conference. So we're excited. I think we're home pretty much the entire month of December, which will be a great opportunity for our players to finish school strong. That's when finals happen and fall semester wraps up. And just be able to be at home. We're very excited. We have the Student Athlete High Performance Center that's going to be opening soon. So for us to be so close to being able to get into that new phenomenal building is going to be huge for us. So we're excited, and we feel like it's going to put us in a great position heading into conference.
Awesome. I'm glad that you mentioned that high performance center too. I wanted to chat about that. So thanks for bringing that up. I'll be sure to ask our student athletes here about that in a bit. Coach Burkhart, when you look at your schedule, what stands out to you?
Well, that's a great question. Well, as we talked about, the two Pac-12 games is open up the season. I do like our balance. On a different note, everybody's calling us to schedule us right now, so that shows you kind of where people think of us, and I use that as motivation. The other game that I'm really grateful for, Coach Few. Coach Few has been so good to us the last 2 years at Gonzaga. We root for Gonzaga all the way up to December 20th because we want them to be number one in the country when we play them, as we did last year. So that's really exciting for our guys on December 20th. And then, you mix the two games on the road. We're at Weber State and at Idaho State. And, those are really two tough games to start on the road, but it kind of measures where you're at. And we know who we're playing there. And we have a nice mix of home games for our crowd. And it kind of can be a little bit difficult to schedule those games because right now everybody, I don't know if the right word is, using us as leverage. Everybody wants to have a home and home, or the respect of our program is that we have to start on the road, and we're just not going to do that. We've had a couple good relationships with coaches. We have an MTE here. Our administration has been great about setting that up with Mr. Mike Marlowe. We have Rio Grande coming in here, and we have Cal State Fullerton, who are great friends with Dietrich Taylor back his ASU days. So I really do like our balance of challenges for our two Big Sky games on the road. And as you said earlier, Mary Lou, it's a one bid league, and it comes down to the Big Sky and getting as good as you can up to conference.
That's right. Now, Lauren, going back to that high performance center, what excites you most about that opening up in December?
I'm most excited just to kind of see how far like our facilities have come. Because when I first came in here, we were all kind of scattered, like the academic centers across campus. We were playing at Roll, going back and forth between the dome. And as much as I'm grateful for it, I just think it's going to be super convenient for not only athletes, but coaches. And I think the community in general is really excited about it. And I think we're going to have some of the best facilities, not only in the Big Sky, but in the nation. And so I think that's what's most exciting.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's coming along very, very nicely. So that'll be super exciting for y'all. Nick, is there anything you want to add to that?
Not really, just like that everything's just together, and then you can literally take 5 steps and you can be in the training room or into the gym or in the weight room. So it's really nice.
Oh, Coach Lori, looking at your schedule as a whole, conference opponents, what games are you most excited for?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. We preach kind of one game at a time, right? But I'm excited that the conference is getting back to normal this year, where we're able to have home and aways with each team. It was challenging last year because it really depended on who you got matched up with at home or away. So I feel like there's going to be a lot more parity in the conference this year, especially with that type of scheduling. We're excited. It makes travel a little bit challenging, but I think that's one of the great things and the silver linings with the Big Sky is that you get to go to all these great places that have incredible atmospheres for college athletics. So, I think the first thing that we're excited for is to go up to the Northwest and take a lot of our Northwest kids back home so their families can see them, which is also a big piece this year of having fans at the games and parents and family and friends being able to come and watch our players play. So that's what we're excited for first, and then we'll move on to the next one as they come.
There you go. Fair enough. Now, Coach Burkhardt, when we look at football, they represented Northern Arizona very well with their Pac-12 win against Arizona. What kind of buzz has that created on campus? Does that give you any fuel heading into that first game around Arizona?
Well, I think the whole staff here at NAU has done a great job. We opened up our football season against Sam Houston State, and it was pretty much packed. And then, I could talk about the whole schedule for football, but I won't. And then to go down there and beat Arizona 21-19, I mean, just nerve wracking at the end. And the guys just came through. Says so much about Coach Ball and his staff and what we have building here. I always say something stirring up here in Flagstaff for all our programs. Cross country, obviously, national champ. So we're all trying to get to that next level of our cross country program. But then we came home and we played Idaho State, and it was electric, and the fans were excited. So, I don't know if that actually hurts us that they beat Arizona because, as I said, it's gonna be Coach Lloyd's first game. He'll be fired up. They'll try to do what they can to beat us. But the thing that I think more than anything, it got us on Sports Center a little bit. It got us on the Pac-12 network. Got people on the West Coast excited about NAU, and also gives you the inspiration that I don't think we've beaten Arizona since 1968. So it gives you inspiration. It can be done. It's not a pipe dream.
Absolutely. There you go. Now we'll end on this. A question for Lauren and Nick. You both have, been with this program since 2017, I believe both of you now. Now, when you look at the schedule, you think about conference opponents, and you think about going on the road specifically, where's your favorite place to go? Lauren, we'll start with you and then Nick.
So like Coach Payne said, a lot of us are from the Pacific Northwest, including myself. And so my favorite game is always Portland State and the Sac State trip, just because I can always get family and friends there. And it's kind of like a refresher during season. Like the traveling is a grind, and playing those games back to back. And so it's just nice to see my family and my friends.
Nick, what about for you?
I would probably say the Montana State games. I think those have always been great atmospheres, and for us, I think we kind of have like a rivalry with Montana. I know we came here, beat them last year at their place, and then also the year before beat them at home at our place, which were big wins for us. So those are always fun and exciting games.
Look forward to it. This will be a fun season for sure. Northern Arizona basketball, thank you so much for joining me. This is the Big Sky virtual tip-off on ESPN+.